Alright, so today we're going to look at how we solve genetic problems using Punnett squares. So I've got here a question you can see in your classwork or possibly in an exam of a kind of question which is look at these simple Punnett square questions which have to do with Mendel and what he's come up with his discoveries from his experiments with pea plants. So the question is, in rabbits, black fur, which is a capital B, so it means it's dominant, alright, to white fur. And of course the question is asking us to determine the expected genotypic and phenotypic ratios resulting from the following crosses. So the key thing here is, often these genetics questions will ask you to either give a ratio or they will ask you to give percentages of the offspring of genotypes and phenotypes. So it's important to read the question and to, in your answer, give what the question is asking you, whether it's percentage or a ratio. So first cross we'll look at is a homozygous black crossed with a white. So the only way we can get a white furred rabbit is it has to have two lowercase b's, which means it's because both of them are homozygous. So we do this on our Punnett square, we set it up just like this. So that's your homozygous black, and that's your homozygous white over here on this side. And it's just as simple as, for us to be able to do this, complete the Punnett square, you just bring one letter down from the top into a box and one letter across from the box which lines up to it. And we keep on going in that order. And that is our offspring. So the question's asking us what are the ratios resulting from the following crosses. So genotypic ratio, all of them will be capital B and lowercase b. So it's basically will be what we call a 4:0 ratio. And the phenotype, all these offspring will be black as well. So it's a 4:0 ratio for that as well. So that is how that question there works. Next one though, part B, two heterozygous blacks. Alright, so part B says two heterozygous blacks. So again, first step, we put these into the Punnett square as the parents. So we've got heterozygous parent there and a heterozygous parent here. And it's the same deal, we just come down and match up with our letters and write those in the boxes. And this is how this one will look. Now, for this ratio, it's a bit different to the first one. First one, part A, all the offspring they were all the same, either their genotype and their phenotype. This time around is a little bit different. So our ratios for this to start with, we're going to have some offspring which are homozygous dominant, and we're going to have some which are homozygous white, and some that are heterozygous black. So we do like this, that will be our genotypes of the offspring, and to do a ratio, it would be a 1:2:1 ratio, just like that. That is how this one works. And the phenotype ratios would be, we're going to have 3:1 will be our ratio, because we're going to have 3 which will be black, and 1 which will be white. So that is how part B works. So we'll rub this off and we'll do part C. Alright, so part C, question says heterozygous black with a white. That means we've got, this is our black rabbit, a heterozygous one, and this here is our white one, which is a homozygous recessive. And again, we fill the Punnett square in and we will work out what our ratios will be. So that's our Punnett square complete. The genotype ratios, we're going to have heterozygous blacks, and we'll have homozygous whites as part of our offspring, which just means all we're going to have for our ratio is we will have, it's a 1:1 ratio, or as a percentage, we 50% chance of having a black cat or a white cat. And the phenotype is exactly the same. It's a 1:1 ratio of black to white. So that's very quickly how you solve a really simple genetics problem involving a Punnett square.